Everything is right up there. And she's Maranda Rights. He's going to do the question for her.
I only have 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Alright.
5 and 15.
We still need to look for toys. Well, I
5 and 10. Whites are live.
Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Miranda, Miss Maranda Rights, and you're listening to Let's Hash It Out on K-High Radio. That's letstalkpot.com, your one and only marijuana network. It's hot in here today. So let's see. You can check us out on our YouTube feed, of course. Just go to youtube.com, then subscribe to K-High. That's K-High. There you'll be able to check out all of our video shows, including our live feed that is on right now. And our phone lines are always open, you guys. So remember, give me a call. Let's hash it out. The number is 719-591-5874 or 719-591-KUSH.
That'll make sure she stays off screen.
Okay, great. So we have a couple of guests here with us today. I'm super, super excited. Came running in here like a bat out of hell, like I always do, right in the nick of time. Whew, and it's hot in here. So we have Roger Nixon here with us today. He's our favorite military vet here who always has some knowledge to drop on everybody. So it's always exciting when he's in the building with us. And then we have Presence. Everybody knows who Miss Presence Tibbetts is. She's known in the cannabis community for all of her activism and her loud voice of opinion. We'll just say that. And then we have a very special guest in here, Miss Tori LaChapelle. She is with Parents for Pot, and she is the editor, I believe, Executive Director. Oh, I'm sorry. Executive Director of Skunk Magazine.
No. I'm a Skunk Magazine contributor, Ladybug contributor, Executive Director of Parents for Pot, and conductor of Underground Railroad.
Oh, so you're just an all-around boss woman, right?
I do a lot. I'm finding out.
Well,
I don't think your mic's on.
okay, let's see. Let's try. All right, can you step up a little bit, see if we can hear you now? Talk to me. Say hi.
Hi.
Is that better? Let's see here.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Roger, you just got back in town.
Yep.
How was your trip?
It was good. I went and did a suspension out in Oklahoma City at S&D Body Arts with Dustin Mathis.
I saw the pictures from that. You are crazy.
You didn't watch the video?
I don't want to watch the video.
Oh,
Wait, did you get suspended or?
He suspends by the skin on his back.
I also picked my buddy Tim Retz up. I picked him up off the ground.
Oh my God, you are crazy, Roger. I say that all the time. You are a freak. And I mean that with all love, of course, but you are a freak.
Next time you do it, I so want to be invited. Like, I want to see that done live.
Well, actually, up here at One Blood Radio, we had some piercers and suspension artists coming from Minnesota.
Smoke One Son.
And,
Is that with Rick Weinreich?
That's with
Yeah,
Rick
I
and Freddie.
love that man. He is incredible. He's helped so many patients.
So we actually had a meeting Sunday, Rick, Kush, and us, and they're looking at coming down here probably next month or so, and hopefully they're looking at maybe Rock the Canyon doing suspension there.
Oh, really?
So it's up in the air. We met with some pretty serious people.
So what does it take to do that? Let me ask you, because I would want to try it, but I mean that's hanging from the skin on your back.
Okay, I'll give you a prime example.
That's taking the daddy issues to the extreme.
Okay. Well, when I went out to Oklahoma, my friend Tim and Angela was like, yeah, I'm down, I'll do it. But as soon as she's seen the hooks going, which there's a video of that too, changed her mind. Once she's seen me suspended, it's a physical, mental, physical, and then you got spiritual. So there's 4 points you have to touch. And there's a certain point in your life when you go, okay, I can meet these standards or points when you want to, whether it's break bread with God, whether you want to find yourself, just get rid of some of those things that have been around your life forever. And that was the day I started this, was the day I stopped questioning, things that can't be answered.
Wow, so it's kind of like you had your aha moment, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not trying to be flip, and I know everybody knows me as being a huge pervert and everything, but on a serious side, when I got my dermal on my chest, it was almost erotic feeling. When you do the suspension, is it the same idea?
Well, basically, any piercing, anytime you inflict pain on the body, what it does, it releases the dopamine and your endorphins, your body feel good. And so, realistically, when a body has pain inflicted, it has to release something to try to fight that off. So whether you get piercing, tattoo, That's why I'm riddled in tattoos. That's how I handle anger, pain, sometimes piercings. It can go into people who like being choked, things like that. Like there's all kinds of different things. But when I do suspension, it releases everything at one time. So realistically, I've never seen, heard of, or done a drug or drank or anything that got me higher than being completely sober during suspension.
Holy shit.
I know that my dermal is nowhere on suspension level, but I am a huge wimp.
It could be.
And for me, I didn't know that would be part of getting pierced. And it took me by surprise. I mean, the pain was so much. And again, I'm a wimp. I know there's a lot of people out there with piercings and tattoos, but that's just not the kind of girl I am. And it hurt so much that it actually felt sexually like, yeah, like, not like that. Well, maybe like that. I don't know. We can talk about that later.
Now keep it on the weed now. People keep it on the weed.
But yeah, I mean, it was just, that's insane.
So for those of you watching us on YouTube, I'm going to try to hold this laptop up here so you can see the picture. Let's see if I can get it up there close enough. Oh shit, hit the microphone.
If you guys go on my Facebook, it's Roger Nixon. You guys can see my videos and my suspensions pictures.
He is
Also
hanging
go
from
to
the skin on
S&P
his
Body
back.
Arts
Oh,
out of
yeah.
Oklahoma. You guys will just be able to see videos and pictures of all kinds of things with Ink Life and Carl.
Excuse
Carl
me.
Wilson.
I can only look at that for so long. Sorry, that freaks me the fuck out.
These guys also work the what I do it for is veteran suicide prevention awareness, realistically. And what it is basically, I was in Amarillo and there was veterans everywhere, bikers, and I had a chance to open up people's eyes and go, look, I just beat a really bad illness, and I've seen a lot of things. You know, maybe if you took a day to look to your left or right and say hi to a veteran who might be down, you might save his life today.
You know what? Actually, Roger, I'm going to tell you right now, though, you did save somebody's life. Because after I had you on my show my very first week, okay, we got and I'm just going to say it was an anonymous letter because the gentleman asked not to be named. But he actually sent an email to the station, and my program director came in and he brought it and showed it to us. And he was I believe he was in Kansas, and he is in the military, and he is suffering from PTSD and from other things. And he was not feeling right about himself. He was, not in the right mind state, and he was confused, and nobody understood him, nobody believed him, type of a thing. And he said that after hearing you speak on here about things that nobody else is willing to talk about, it made him rethink, his whole situation, and it made him think about coming here to Colorado to actually move here with his family so that he can get the treatment, because he knows that there's at least one person going through the same thing that he is, and that made him feel welcome.
And that's the point. Like, if I don't reach anybody else for the rest of my life, right now I know I did my job. And that's it. If I can reach nothing, let's go. But you got one life. If you want to base the chance of your life off of how somebody else feels, whether it's financially, physically, or mentally, it's your life. How do you feel off of your life? And if they're not willing to move for you, then your life isn't worth it to them. You need to move for you. That's what's supposed to be worth it.
That is an amazing thing to say. And then that just goes to prove too, with all the people that are moving here, and it's the parents of these young children, that says it all right there, because you know what? They have to make that choice for those kids because they can't themselves. You know what I mean?
And there are mothers who are moving. They're having to leave their families behind, or they're having to leave parts of their families behind. Families are being split up. So it's not just a matter
of mothers having to move to save their kids' lives, but to save their own lives. So we're seeing refugee children, and we're seeing refugee parents. So families are being split up, and prohibition is what's causing it. There's a refugee crisis going on.
Man, our country sucks.
No, you know what?
Well,
It's just misunderstood in certain sections.
Yes, it is. It's like the Civil War. I'm really kind of learning about alcohol prohibition and where a lot of the amendments came from. It's reminding me of the Civil War, where families are being torn apart, and it's on state lines. It's based on ideology. It's based on politics. It's based on money. So in a lot of ways, cannabis prohibition and the exodus we're seeing to safety and freedom is a lot like the exodus seen during the Civil War. And it's also impacting minorities the same way. We're using prohibition to incarcerate minorities and enslave them in for-profit prisons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing, but it just looks different. And, we're using war as a mechanism to tear the country apart.
Well, using the word war in general is what got this whole thing started, because starting the war on drugs, using that exact term right there, a war on something, you're declaring it as a national country, that right there brings in politicians' money. It brings in campaign money. It brings in all of those big dollars, and that's what bases their decision on whether or not something is, can get pushed or not. And that's how it all started with the whole cannabis movement. I mean, they pulled books off of the shelves, and denied the information about it from people. Like that is denying like human literature or
history.
English. Yeah, there you go.
We're denying our own history.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And that's why we're seeing education change in this country as well, especially in the South. And we're seeing conservative politicians, rallying behind changing education so they have more control over it. And actually, I got a history lesson from a 80-something-year-old man in Kansas in a suit and tie when I was hanging up signs for Shauna Banda and Amber Thurman because of what Kansas is doing to them as mothers. And they're both refugees. And one from Arizona and one that had moved back to Kansas from Colorado. And they actually schooled me in the fact that cannabis was taken out of our history. And these are, what you could assume, the hat, the tie, and where they are in their age, and kind of the angle they were coming from, that they were conservative, but they get it. And there are people out there that get it, but that's the truth. That's history.
Well, and when you talk about that age gap, I mean, me and Roger talk about this all the time when it comes to the generation gaps between people and who's making these laws, who is being affected by these laws, and then who these laws are being made for the future. And that right there is three different generations of people that they're messing up.
Yeah.
And it's because, if you're this old man set in this certain type of a mind state, you're not going to understand anything that the younger generations are going through. So they're being brought up thinking this is bad, and that they're just sticking with it because they're not going to be one to come out and look stupid that they've been following something their whole life that was wrong. You know what I mean? That's going to make them look like they don't have any credibility towards anybody. And those are the types of things that it takes the people to step out, use their voice, tell people like, look, hey, we might have a lifestyle choice that is different than one another, but that doesn't make anyone better or worse than the other. You know what I mean? Because if at the end of the day, you might choose Tylenol and I might be allergic to it. You know what I mean? So that right there, same definition. Go ahead, Roger. I know you were looking like you might have had something to add about that whole.
People don't realize that Americans are taught history from the white American male view. I mean, people think that Hillary Clinton was like the first female to ever run for president, when reality is Victoria Woodhull ran for president first back in 1880 or something like that. And she was thrown in jail until the election was over on indecency and pornographic charges, just so that she would not even be taken seriously as a candidate. And sadly, everybody's like, oh, this is history. No, that's history from a white man's view. People are the same with the police officers. Wow. People think that police brutality is something new, but the reality is, unless you are a white man, never in history has the police department been good to you. They lock women up for, pretty much anything. And if you're a person of color, forget it. Unless you're a rich white man, you are out of luck. And I'm not, you're sitting next to me and I'm not trying to be flip, but the reality.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had my run-ins, and I had, in the state of Kansas, I had 4 cases against me, and 3 times I didn't have weed present, and there was weed charges. In Riley County, they don't have sheriffs there, and they won't elect one in. I won't get into politics.
I've gotten pulled over just in the middle of the daytime just for driving a nice vehicle in a not nice neighborhood. You know what I mean? And being a young female, and their reason was because I was in a known drug area.
Oh yeah. Okay,
and they wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get hurt because I obviously looked like I didn't belong there.
Save you from yourself, right?
Like they're trying to help me. Okay, then what did they need to search my vehicle for?
I was pulled over at the Kansas border, and the officer who pulled me over said, because I drive a custom vehicle, that I was a suspicious-looking vehicle filling up for gas at the gas station on the side of the highway. After he goes through all his crap and gives me my license and registration back, he tells me to hold on and goes and calls a dog because he smells an abundance of cologne and air freshener. I'm not sure about you, but what is my truck supposed to smell like?
Right, you're a guy.
So, it's things happen, blah, 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 and things are going to happen. And it's one of those things where you go, did you racially profile me? How did you profile me? It's actually against the law.
Yes, they absolutely did 100% racially profile you. People pretend like white privilege does not exist, but I can assure you, as a white woman, the things that I have been able to get away with and do, at least 2 people in this room would never, ever be able to get away with. And I'm not trying to say that to be bragging or, say that I'm a criminal, but just even everyday simple things. If I go into a store if I go to Neiman Marcus with a large purse, nobody's following me around.
Oh, it's happened to me in the middle of Victoria's Secret in the mall because I had a bigger bag. Not anybody that knows me, I have these big ass purses. Okay, I got lots of stuff to carry. My mom, I'm a girl, just in general. But they literally stopped me and they said that it was because after following me around for a whole 20 minutes and everything, and it became blatantly, obviously rude that she was staring at me. She said, I don't mean to be rude, but we have a lot of high school girls that come in with big bags to shoplift. And I looked at her and she said, but I know that you're not in high school. We just get a lot of your kind in here. And I looked at her and I said, "You're kind? Are you out of your damn mind?" And I got a gift card for my husband for Christmas. So I went home. It was like a Pretty Woman type of thing. Like I didn't buy anything. They were mean to me type of deal. And he got on the phone and he got on them so bad. The girl ended up getting fired. Like it was a whole big thing. They didn't believe it so much so that we had to go down there and review the tapes. It was a whole big thing.
You know what?
It really happened.
What I did yesterday, actually, I just drove through Kansas. I grew up in Kansas. I was born in Dodge City. And I've been helping Shauna Banda, raise awareness for her case and Amber Thurman as well.
Hey, Tori, can you explain a little bit about Miss Banda?
Yes, I will.
Most
Just
people
1 minute.
don't understand.
Well, she was a cannabis oil patient dying of Crohn's. She wrote a book. It's Live Free or Die. And, it's a lot about freedom, a lot about curing herself. And she was a Colorado patient, I believe. And she had to move for financial reasons, like so many refugees, in with family in Garden City, Kansas, which is an hour away from the border. And, she wasn't, it's not as though she sent her son to school to say anything or be an activist, but at school, everybody knows who she was. Her family was there, in Garden City. And at school, her son, during a drug awareness education program, disputed the things that they were saying about marijuana because they had just moved from Colorado and he watched how it saved his mom's life and other children's lives. And his mom had written a book. And the next thing she knows, there are police at her door waiting to get a warrant in her backyard. In her backyard. She has it on video. Yeah. Google Shauna Banda, YouTube, and you can see the police in her backyard where they're not allowed to be without a warrant. And she's videotaping them. And they took her son. They interrogated him.
Under what pretense?
That there was avid drug use in the house based on what the son was saying. My mom's a patient, and this is, yeah. And then,
this is not an isolated case. A mutual friend of Tori and I's had CPS show up at her house and
talking about hemp. Diane Fornbacher of Ladybug Magazine. Yeah, her son.
I didn't want to mention her name.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, it's a public case. Diane's an incredible warrior, and she, as strong as Diane is for Ladybug, she's been around for more than 20 years. She's won awards. She's incredible. And her son just spoke about him when they were living, I believe, in New Jersey, or it might have been Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was either Philly or New Jersey.
Yeah. But yeah, they just were speaking about hemp. CPS showed at her door. So to get back to Shauna's case, then her son was placed with his father without visitation. And now he was actually taken away from his father and placed in foster care. And she's facing 30 years in prison for having her medicine an hour from the border of Colorado. She just surrendered herself on, I believe it was Monday, to jail, Tiffany County Jail. So what I did, I'm from Kansas. I grew up there in Dodge City. I am a white girl, in Illinois plates and a decent looking car. I knew, I could not get away with this, but I could try.
Hold on one second. I'm going to cut you off right there real quick. Okay. I want to hear about this. So
you want to hear this?
Yes, I want to get into it because as a mom myself, oh shit, man, let somebody do something to me. It'll be on and popping.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back after the break. This is your girl, Miss Maranda Rights. You're listening to Let'sTalkPot.com, K-High Radio, your one and only marijuana station. We'll be right back after this.
So my life.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm not hearing very well. I just drove in yesterday. I'm not aggravated.
Yeah, the blue one.
Okay. I can't hear
the camera. I can actually move the camera a little bit so that you can.
I'm about to go back to Manhattan, Kansas. I don't give a shit.
Well, you know what I did? I wrote on the back of my car in Pratt, Kansas. I'm wearing. Oh dear God, you know what it is. So I'm crawled on the back of my car. I crawled on the back of my car and wrote in the windows, "Hands off, Shauna. Stand with Shauna. Stand with Amber. Cannabis is medicine." And it was like, and then I stopped in different places and hung up signs and took pictures.
Wow.
And people were like, "That's kind of crazy. You don't mention weed in Kansas. They'll find a reason. They don't give a shit. They'll
If
just."
you mention the word weed in a smoke shop in Wichita, you go to jail.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, you go to jail.
Didn't Tommy Chong go to jail for using the
In
word
Pennsylvania,
bomb?
no, he was
For
selling
selling.
bongs in Pennsylvania.
And he's-
This happened right where I lived. Yeah, he was selling bongs in Pennsylvania, and he was selling glass. He went to jail. And when we get back on the topic, you're very welcome to answer me or question me as much as you want about Mason Kai's case and being taken away for weed.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
Yeah.
There's no question. I obviously can't name Tyler because he's under 18. I can say that boy or the baby's father, but I can't. But I mean, they actually put in my court papers. Listen to this. My grandson is 2. My daughter had a baby when she's 15, she's 4, but that's a whole other story. Rich girl, holding. But they actually put in my court papers that I'm not allowed to give Mason the 2-year-old dabs. Like, who the fuck would be dabbing out a 2-year-old? How can a 2-year-old even suck on a rig to get a dab?
we need a dab.
We do need a dab. We don't have a dab machine.
I'm so stoned.
I broke my cord sound with
I
here.
might have my pens are shitty right now.
I don't care. Anything. We need to smoke.
Isn't that kind of
You can't smoke weed in here though. Huh?
You can't.
Not flour. We can only bake.
Oh, because my shit reeks.
Yeah, we can only bake.
Can I see?
It's all in my car. I got white banana, cough, pure white, turbo,
I should have.
dog.
30 seconds.
I gave my pen to a cancer patient, so.
Oh, honey.
I left mine at home, so it's hot.
Oh, and by the way, I wanted to tell you I listened to that song and it's
I
the
gave
shit.
her to transfer after you gave it back to me. I gave it to Jennifer. She's in the hospital.
Okay, my ears are like.
Small shipping and
I'm gonna
handling
hit
fee. It makes
it
a
now.
great
We're going
gift
to
because
Kansas.
it's beautifully packaged and
Virgin
you'll
Radio.
love
Like,
the
bitch, I
do
wish
you
you would
after
for my
using
car.
dermatologist approved
Yeah,
and
they'll
recommended
shit out of you.
Fountain of Youth. Go to
Oh, yeah? Stick inside your meat,
freefountainofyouth.com.
inside your food and freeze it.
Wildlife Radio, the only talk show for everything motorcycle.
I like kids for seed.
You know, 3, 4, 5 pounds of meat. Fuck out of here, man. It's in your meat, a bone, bitch. It's in your meat.
Hey guys, this is Miss Maranda Rights and you are back. This is K-High Radio, your one and only marijuana network. Don't forget guys, you can check us out on YouTube, that's youtube.com, and you can subscribe to K-High. Hey, that's K space high. There you'll be able to check out all of our video shows, including the live feed that is happening right now. Okay, you guys can give us a call. As always, the number is 719-591-KUSH. And I obviously missed like the greatest joke in the world over here. What are you guys laughing about? Presents. I told you no flirting while you're on my show. No flirting while you're on my show.
I feel like
Get your date off the air.
my face is in Serena's dress.
Well, it is. That's why.
Man, I'm stoned. I have a reason to be smiling. I don't know what hurts.
Oh, me over here in the corner. Oh, I'm home, baby. I'm so happy to be in Colorado. I've had the most amazing trip, and part of it was driving through Kansas with cannabis written on my car.
Oh, I bet.
You
For
know,
those of you who cannot see Tori right now, she's in the studio with her dark ass sunglasses on. Welcome to Colorado, baby. This bitch would not do a dab with me. It's like, it's not time to dab. I just woke up. I haven't had coffee yet. I'm like, woman, this is Colorado. We dab and then coffee, right?
You dab, you drink your coffee, then you dab again.
I'm acclimating. I am being responsible. I'm drinking my water. I'm doing happy things, and I'm acclimating, taking it easy, easing it in. You know, you don't want to burn out.
That's
Right?
okay.
See, you know
She's
what? No.
staying with
What it
me.
is-
We'll fix her.
No, she's. Oh, look
Oh,
at that.
I
We a
have
caller.
mountains to.
Hello, caller, you're live.
Miss Maranda Rights.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I remember who this is now. So-
24 hours.
Hey, I'm not gonna let those pimps get me again. Are you serious?
Right.
Come on now. So this on the phone, guys, we have Chris from Bay City, Michigan. Tori, since you haven't been here to know exactly who he is or anything like that, he is our favorite caller from Michigan. He called us, I think it was my first week. Wasn't my first show, might have been my first show.
I think it was like your first one.
Yeah, it was. And he called in because his brother has epilepsy, and the dispensaries that's closest to them, they're shutting them all down, deeming them a public nuisance. So he heard about our show through Facebook on his feed, and so he called in one day and was like, hey, I need your help. What can I do? You know, and so we've just been kept in contact, and he's actually going to be coming out here tomorrow for the Cannabis Expo, and we're finally going to get to meet him. We're really excited. We've been able to at least help him. So like Roger was saying, if we touch one person, then...
Hey, what's going on, man? It's good to hear your voice again.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'll actually get to meet you if you're there on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, the days we're going, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, isn't it amazing, the refugee stories? How you meet from home states sometimes, and even other cannabis legal states. It's just not, I'm not going to say Colorado's the best place to be, but honestly, it's the choice.
Yes, it is.
For me, it is
I'll
just
tell you right
because
now,
the
it's a lot cheaper in
location.
Colorado than it is where we're at.
Well,
You know
right, it
what?
is.
Let's not hate on Michigan. I just came from Detroit, and I love my Detroit people. Trans love energy. Shout out, whoop whoop.
Everybody chooses where they need to go for certain reasons. Honestly, and I'm going out to California to help refugees move to California. I'm going up to the Triangle. I'm going up to Oregon to help Parents for Pot, and we're going to look at foundations, because there are people needing to go to other states, and other programs work better for them, or the income works for them. So, but for me, and for so many people, Colorado is where it's at, right?
Colorado is just not a state. It is a way of life here. I mean, people are so open-minded to different lifestyles and ideas. I mean, I'm all over the place. I mean, I'm pro-guns, I'm pro-death, I'm, pro-choice, don't go on welfare. I'm like, don't go on welfare unless you're going to work for it. So, I mean, Colorado is a killer.
Her name says it all. Okay, she is a presence. She brings an aura about her that is just so great. She's always so happy, and she always makes me feel so happy. But she's a ride or die bad bitch in this community. She will yell at your face and have no remorse for it. She made me cry the first time I met her. Okay, but in a good way. In a good way, though. It changed my way of thinking. But it was because she had a good reason to speak on it. You know what I mean?
I wasn't just picking on her. I love women. I love all women. I was just letting her know that I don't believe in mixing sex with medicine. You are working so hard here to, legalize this and get accepted. But I believe in legal as lettuce, okay? I don't just believe in marijuana as medicine. I believe that it should grow just like the grass in your front yard. However, a lot of conservative Republican politicians don't see it that way, and even Democrats don't see it that way. They, see it as trying to get high. So I try to make sure that we are respecting the plant and we're respecting patients' rights before my need to get high, because at the end of the day, the reality is I'm going to smoke pot no matter what, where I'm at, legal or not. But, my need to get high and party doesn't trump a dying person. So I'm not trying to mix up sex with
I think
meds.
we all know the true answer is full repeal.
Exactly.
It's full repeal. We're in it for the long haul. We're seeing the drawbacks of some legalization efforts and lobbying and stuff like that.
Especially in the CBD only
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't know.
Colorado set a precedent for the true meaning of freedom.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Colorado just as a whole, the whole spectrum. I mean, we're being looked at, even more so than California is, simply because of the type of people that are here in Colorado. You know what I mean? Cali, they have the beach there. You can be that surfer bum. You can be that kind of laid back, mentality of it. And it's just because that's what Cali is. You know what I mean? So the water is acceptable there. Here in Colorado, we have so much military here, and we have so much, churches and focus on the family and New Life Church and things like that here, that it's always been a very professional, conservative community. And so to have something like cannabis break out as much as it has, that set its own way in the fact that you can still be professional and have cannabis in your life and it doesn't affect you. And Colorado is the one reason, the one state that they can look at and they can really logically believe it because they can see it.
Oh, absolutely. And we were just discussing that today, that, cannabis isn't, although, you know, we all love Tommy Chong, and I actually, when they decided not to use him for MPP lobbying, I was like, no, that's disrespectful. But the thing is, that's not representative of the everyday user. The everyday user is a mother, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, you know, even, and it's not
Your
even.
average day person.
Exactly.
We really need to work on breaking. It's her first day in Colorado from out of state, so she spent the morning
getting acquainted with home.
and otherwise vising might be acceptable.
Well,
And
either
we
way.
are in contact with the grannies up there at that nice purple house.
You did get in contact with them? You were able to?
Yeah, we have been talking to them. I started talking to them yesterday.
That is awesome. That makes me really, really good to hear. I'm so glad. Those ladies,
Yeah.
The first one, I've only met them once, but within the first, I think, 5 minutes that I met them, I was in tears with one of the ladies just because of hearing their story and where they come from and the reasons behind why they're doing it. It's the same reason that I'm doing it. It's the same reason that everybody that I know is doing it, and it's because it's affected somebody on one level or another. I mean, and by the way, how's your brother doing?
He is out of the hospital.
He's out of the hospital? Yay!
He's doing good. Yep.
Is he going to be able to come down with you guys?
No, we're still trying to decipher that one. You know, he just got out of the hospital.
No, I'm not too familiar with epilepsy. From my own personal experience and knowledge, I don't really know too much about it other than the whole seizure part of it. What is his case like? Is he one of those people that has like hundreds of seizures, or does he have it once every while? Or, I mean, I don't mean to be rude in any of asking these
At least
questions.
5 or 6 in a week, you know.
Okay. Well, that's good. At least
Nothing
it's
to
not
worry about.
hundreds. I mean, it's horrible still. I don't mean it like that, but
I was a seizure nurse, and you know, it's hard to see
Most of
kids
his
go
are
through
through the
it.
night while he's sleeping.
Right. But that changes it changes everything during the day. And you know, between kids going through hundreds of seizures but then when you deal with adults, you know, adults going through seizures are suffering as well as their families. There is a refugee case right now being handled. It's called Team Pluto, and it's a mom who has epilepsy, Cherise Nipper.
Yeah,
And her son is her biggest cheerleader, and it's changed their lives because it doesn't just affect just a kid with seizures. When it's an adult with seizures, often it's an entire family affected. So when they refugee here, it's whole families.
I mean, for the people that have never actually seen someone have a seizure, I can assure you it is the most horrifying experience that you will see. I don't know about the grand malls and the kind where you convulse and shake. However, my husband David has absence seizures, and to watch his face fall and to the lights go out and to sit there and see him, a grown man, weep is just, it's so unacceptable, and it's not okay. And you know that every time they have a seizure, it gets harder and harder. It's harder and harder to come back. Every time those lights go out, the more frequent it happens.
About a whole day or a whole week sometimes.
And Chris, I heard you say that the person that you're working with is still having several seizures a week. Your brother is. I'm obviously not going to talk about this publicly on air, but if you'd like to get a hold of me, I obviously know a lot of people in the Michigan area, and let's see what we can do to even reduce that further from hundreds to 5 to maybe 1 a month, because nobody needs to go through that. There's too many ways to help people, and especially in Michigan, where it is a medical marijuana state.
That's what blows my freaking mind, is the fact that they're shutting down these dispensaries, deeming them a public nuisance. What the hell is a nuisance about a medical facility? Or you know what I mean? That's like deeming Walgreens a fucking public nuisance because you have homeless people that hang out outside the entrance doors.
Marie, and I know that we touched on this last time we were in here talking about Michigan and Detroit, but in Michigan, it really is a cash grab for the politicians and the police. They will go in, they will raid the dispensaries, they will take all their products, they will take all of their money, and they will not charge the owners. So basically what they are doing is robbing them, or a home invasion type style idea. I mean, that is how it goes. It is legal robbery in Michigan.
I'm dying to know what you guys to say, Roger, because I see this face going off,
and then we re-up.
That's right. So then they can take it all again.
Let me give you an example. The POTUS Club.
Oh gosh.
I was supposed to be there.
Okay, we're there that morning. Okay, I understand they did their thing.
I love you, Norm.
Norm Jetter is for you guys. So we're there, and it got hot. They sent their guy in to buy his little 6 grams of Maui diesel. You should try it.
Norm grows killer pot.
And they come in there, and I'm talking about they hack about 30 plants. Now we have medical licensed people. It was somebody's medication they took. Now they have rules and laws against what they're supposed to pay back per plant because they're supposed to keep them in cultivation until they go to court, and they were hacked at the root. And I mean, they took probably 2 pounds. I rolled a probably 120 blunts. We rolled probably a quarter pound in joints, all for display for this whole weekend. They took it all, and we were able to leave. X amount of people got their tickets. They're in court for those things, but it's one of those things where you go, it was 420. They banked off 10 people. They think they stopped it, but we still went on. It was still 420. People still came and celebrated with this.
Yeah, I know.
I would have to say what I'm so proud about POTUS is 2 hours after they were raided by the police, they opened back up, and they said we are a force to be reckoned with, and I am so proud of everybody that was there. I know people went to jail. I know people went tickets. I know people got their products stolen by the police, and
my week I took when I got arrested.
Dude, my house is getting raided by the DEA.
Everybody's money, everybody's shit.
Okay, so now here's the catch. The catch to that place was that it was actually considered it was Ed's place of residence, and it was a club there where our people met. You went there, you filled out your application. We all had everything legit. And when it comes down to it, you read a 13-page application.
Oh yeah, that process
and
is forever.
It doesn't matter if you're the police officer or not. You're coming in here saying, "Hey, I want to relax and have a good time."
I have actually watched them throw people out who weren't trying to commit any crimes. They were coming in there to smoke cannabis, but they didn't want their names on that application. They're like, no. I mean, POTUS followed the rules.
Didn't it say? I remember.
T.
I remember even somewhere in the little membership thing. Didn't it say that even if you are law enforcement, you are given every right doing that?
Yeah, you're not coming in here to arrest us.
You're coming in here you're coming in here as a member. You're signing this to be a member of this reality.
They forged documents and doctor paperwork and everything.
I mean, it was so horrible. I've been fortunate enough to go to most of the cannabis clubs in America, and I'm humble enough to know many of the very well-known cannabis growers, and POTUS hands down was the best cannabis club, the most drama-free. I felt safe. There was never any problems.
And it was a cool building too.
Yeah, it was super cool. And, for them to really they targeted Grassroots, which is another cannabis club up in Denver. And they also, went through it as POTUS did. And it's just horrifying that we are not allowed to gather civilly in someone's home, which POTUS was Ed's home, as you heard mentioned. We are not allowed to go to someone's home in a legal state and consume cannabis in a peaceful manner. However, you're allowed to go to the, Coyote Saloon or whatever, take a handful of Xanax.
Yeah, on that point, this is just like alcohol prohibition. When they first started legalizing alcohol again, they would go through and harass legal establishments. And it's, between police abuse, and this is how it goes. If everybody would look into history and the alcohol prohibition, there's a fantastic documentary by Ken Burns on Netflix about alcohol prohibition. Dude, you can see the whole game plan. This is how it goes, and we just got to keep banding together and helping lobby to write the right rules, like the craft brew industry when it fought back against big alcohol. So we can do this. We just got to organize. And this is how it goes. We can see the playbook. We just look at history.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's
then I think they should hold pharma to the same rules and regulations they hold marijuana to.
Absolutely.
Oh, listen. Don't get me started on the big pharma.
We'll talk
We can
about
talk
that.
CBD only and Apellidax next.
Yeah,
Well, see, our big problem is big pharma's in our backyard.
Big pharma is up everybody's ass. That's the same thing. I'm gonna put you on hold right quick, Chris. We'll try to say that 3 times fast. Because we're getting ready to go back to a break, but we'll finish talking about this as soon as we get back. So you are listening to Miss Maranda Rights. We're on here on K-High, your one and only marijuana network. Let'sTalkPot.com. Don't forget, guys, you can always call us 591-5874 or go to the YouTube feed and subscribe. That's K-High, and you can check out all the videos, including the live feeds. We'll be back right after this.
What's your station channel? Let's tell Norm.
It's let's talk pot.com.
Thank you. It's let's talk pot.com because we're not back on air yet. But then it's 98.5 on target.
That's Nina, and that's.
Oh yeah, hey guys, Summer, did you guys hear? I got a second show.
Oh yeah, she's hot. You should tell her.
Are you guys listening to me? Dude in my head.
Send her a picture of me suspending.
Hello.
I will.
Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear that I got a second show?
No, that's great.
Yep, I got a second show on an FM network. So I'm on every day, Monday through Friday, on the radio station, the real radio station.
Tailgate. Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, on Tailgate. That's what's up. I'm excited about it. Not too bad for a chick that doesn't. Not too bad for a chick that doesn't know what she's doing, right?
No, I think you know what you're doing. You're getting there.
Hey, when is that on? Tailgate.
Tailgate is on. My show will start on Monday.
What time?
It is on 11 to 1. Every
She
day.
gets 2 hours.
Every day.
Kill.
Yep. Yeah, guys, did you hear that? I get 2 hours and the Weed Pimps only got Sunday nights.
Do you know you're right?
I just have to talk smack because I know they do it. And and by the way, that Empress Sativa song, that's the jam. They're not listening to me anymore.
Oh, you listened to the song Ben played for you?
Yes, I did, and I love it. It's become like my new favorite song. I listened to it all day yesterday.
Yeah, the Empress.
Yeah, that's the jam.
Just pretty good.
Yep, it is. So, if you guys come across any other good weed songs for chicks, send them my way. I'll trust you guys.
Oh, will do.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Chris, you still there?
Yep.
Okay, just had you on hold for a second, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
Do you have a tap rig? That's what
In
we
my
need.
house.
Anybody out there on YouTube, if you guys can see us, we need a rig or a dab stick of some sort.
You are insane.
Did you see that?
Did you see the shit?
I saw it.
He's like swinging around. He's holding some shit.
Oh,
being pushed back.
I watched the video at his house.
Just
Okay.
walking about the new
You're
one.
I don't care
insane.
about the new one. The other one was good enough for me. I'm not trying to swing my shit on my back.
I went to the south and swung from a tree.
Oh,
I did. I went to the south and got hung from a tree. That's what happened.
That's not cool, man.
It is funny though because it's right next to a church. They don't suspend on Sundays. That's the only thing
They
won't
don't
do.
suspend on
They
Sundays.
will not do it out of respect. Like
Gotcha.
that, they are. Some of them are veterans and stuff like that. They have morals.
Here we go.
That a lot of people
Okay,
just want to do
It's
this
going to
stuff.
gravitate towards. So check it out. AmericanMusicShirts.com. Celebrate the rich legacy of American music with AmericanMusicShirts.com. Listen anywhere at Let'sTalkPod.com.
Much love.
I can't help it. I just start dancing every time I hear these jams. Right? This is such a good. I say it every time, and I know people probably get hold of it. I love this freaking song. Okay, so we're back. This is your girl, Miss Maranda Rights. You're watching YouTube feed, hopefully live, checking us out at youtube.com. This is letstalkpot.com. I'm your girl, Miss Maranda, doing Let's Hash It Out. And we have Chris on the phone still with us from Bay City. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. When are you guys getting ready to head out here?
Tomorrow night about 7 or 8 o'clock.
Tomorrow night. How long of a drive is it? You said it was like 14 hours or something?
Oh, I've just been informed we might be leaving it a little early.
Oh.
Maybe probably around 6.
Just so you know, when you get here, I don't know if you already have your hotel or booked. If you come to Manitou, there are 2 different cannabis-friendly hotels. One is a regular traditional hotel, and another one is a bed and breakfast. I personally would stay at the bed and breakfast myself.
I've been I have to go down there too today actually, which is good that you live in Manitou because that's where I need to go. But I called one of the bed and
Yeah, since you're my ride.
I called one of the bed and breakfasts the other day, and they wanted to talk to me in person, but I was trying to see about one of those places, getting them to do some kind of a trade or work with the station to be able to sponsor their trip and let them stay out here while they're out here.
Yeah, let's definitely on our way home we'll stop. I'll show you the place.
I mean, they're driving all the way out here. I'd hate for them.
Yeah, there's like I said, there's 2 different places. One is your traditional motel. It is not a hotel. It is the traditional. I believe it is around $50 a night. They've got a pool. Not that you get in the pool right now in Colorado, but whatever. You know, and it is actually a really good area. I mean, it's Manitou. Chris, I'm assuming that you don't know much about Colorado. I'm sorry if that's making an ass out of me to assume. But
forgive you.
you know, Manitou is probably one of the most friendly cannabis areas in the entire country. My son, for those of you listening that don't know, my son has autism and he has a congenital heart defect. And Maggie's Farm is both a medical and a recreational shop here in Colorado that sells cannabis. And from their taxes and all the money that they made within the first 6 months of this year, they donated $30,000 to my son's school for the arts program. So anybody who doesn't believe that rec is working, just remember my son, who is a special needs child, gets his own.
Oh, she's about to start crying. Princess, you're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh.
That is way cool.
I'm
sorry.
He was donating a lot of money when he was
that just goes to show, you know,
being able to do that kind
these
of stuff.
businesses, they really need to, I'll say it once and I'll say it again, they need to wake their game up, man. Because look at just a mother in here who has been able to save her son's life just because of, you know, a donation that people thought was drug money, went to her school, and they're actually going to be able to help give her son a better education, or one-on-one format, whatever it might be. They're helping a child because of it. And this is a company that people are saying are criminal. You know what I mean? What drug dealer do you know is going to go give their re-up money to a kid? I don't know. They're out buying rims.
If we were in any other state, my son would be forced into a special school with kids that couldn't even talk and control on themselves, but because of marijuana, the bad, evil marijuana, my suggestion is to go to one of the top public schools in the country, have his own private service dog provided through the school. He has his own personal aid, and because of marijuana, that horrible, dirty drug nobody should do, my 6-year-old disabled child is, you know, able to go to school and have a normal education. So, you know, anybody in any other state that doesn't believe it's working, you come talk to me, because at the beginning of the school year, they were going to pull my son out of school and put him in a fucking school for basically people who were, you know, for lack of a better word, and I'm sorry if I'm not politically correct, retarded. And, you know, now my son is able to actually leave me with no kisses, say bye mom, and run into school and, you know, have a decent day. And at the beginning of the year, he couldn't even make it through 2 hours of school. So I'm extremely, extremely grateful for recreational marijuana because it's saving my son's life.
You know, actually, that kind of pisses me off on a whole nother level, not anything against you, but because we have such a great network of people and a great system here in Colorado that are doing so much for people like Presidents and people like Sierra who have come here, you know, and really has saved their lives. But then we come across every now and then, because Colorado is not perfect, we have our own ups and downs. On top of fighting our own problems, we're fighting all these other states' bullshit, okay? But we're still fighting our own problems. And with that said, there was a child that got kicked out of high school for his mom packaging his capsules accidentally in his food. Now, this kid was in a wheelchair. He was, I want to say, paraplegic or something. I can't remember what it was.
It's Jack's Journey on Facebook. Yeah. It's Jackson's story. Yeah. They moved here from New Jersey, and his mother is really the one who has given me all the strength in the world to continue this journey, because I was so afraid when I lived in the anti-state to help anybody or help even my own child. And this woman really came to me, and, you know, she was like, you have a choice. And, you know, these people have been through so much. They've been investigated. They had to leave their family. They had to leave their home. They left everything. Jack is about 13 years old, and he still wears a diaper. He watches Barney, and he will never tell his mother he loves her. He was thrown out of school because his mom pre-packages the meals, and
this kid isn't even able to prepare the meals himself. He can't even do that.
Like, never in his life will
it was a parental error that his mom made, openly admitted to making the mistake, and he is getting kicked out of school for it. And it's not just the educational part that this is
therapy.
He gets
no, they did not. No. What happened was, and they did not, I spoke with the Board of Education with Mrs. Storms, Jenny, who is actually a really good friend of mine, and she works with the, if you are coming to Colorado for medical reasons, I would
implore you to please look into the American Medical Refugee Foundation. We've helped so many people, and they get you access to medicine, they get you access to doctors, welfare, social services, whatever you need.
There's also Colorado Medical Refugees.
Well, it's,
wow.
yeah, it's,
There's
it's
a couple
they're
different
together.
groups.
They're together.
Yeah, they work together.
There's so
and
much
it's amazing.
information. My
And-
brain's gonna pop when I get out there.
And so what had happened was Jenny prepackages these meals, obviously, because her son is so
He's capable of doing it himself.
Oh, well, no, it's not. Well, not only that, but because she's
his mother.
She's his mother.
She's his
She
mom.
made a mistake.
For real.
And
Like, come on.
everybody thinks that everybody thinks that this disabled kid. What a big deal. He can't learn anyways. He missed school. He didn't miss school.
No,
he missed therapy.
He gets these
missed,
detrimental, sessions and these detrimental things to his
and they
benefit
were
for
not
his
made
life
of.
that he's missing out on. And when you miss those hours, those important ass hours of something, you can never get those back. You know what I mean? So
And then
he worked every day up until that point, basically for nothing. If they're not even going to give him the next one to help,
Right.
Because having that cognitive thing, that the what's the word I'm looking for? The revolving type of a therapy, it's what keeps the brain functioning.
Right.
It's what makes the progress.
Missing one day I can speak as a mother of a disabled child. These children need repetition every single day. Missing one single
It's gotta do the same
hour.
thing every time, or it throws them off.
Yeah.
Missing one single hour of therapy puts them back months. The school board in Colorado decided, instead of calling the poor mother and saying, hey, can you bring him another lunch, instead of reprimanding her and saying, hey, we can't have this,
No, they called her
they
called her and said your son is suspended from school.
no, they actually
They gave him a
suspended.
vacation.
Yeah, they actually suspended a disabled child who drools on himself and in diapers and still wears bunny. They actually suspended him for possession of fucking narcotics. And I'm sorry to use the F word on the radio, but if a kid is never even going to look his mother in the eye and be able to say, I love you, how dare you punish? I mean, what kind of cruel human does that? I mean, this woman has been through
it's the
enough.
ridiculous zero tolerance policy.
Well, see, and this is where it's another case of complete
White
bullshit.
politician.
Because just like with Cora, the little girl that's in Memorial Hospital right now, okay, they brought her down from Denver, and because Memorial Hospital is no longer with whoever, it's a private hospital, whatever the junk may be, they don't allow cannabis for any of their patients.
They are allowed.
Yeah, they took her meth
and this
away.
is what I'm saying, is that it took this hospital, okay, for the turnaround time that they did to be less than 3 days, okay, that is
Yeah.
fucking amazing, okay, for them to do that quickly for this patient showed that they actually cared, and they were going to have a protest riot if they didn't, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that the hospital will overturn even stricter policies than any educational system ever that quickly, and a fucking high school won't do it for a child,
I know.
that is ludicrous. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is what should be protested. That is what all of these people should be going down. They're holding up their signs and picketing. If they want to bitch about something, bitch about that. Bitch about that. If you think it's wrong, go to that mother and tell her why her kid doesn't deserve to live.
And the new
Big
law, still leaves it up to individual school boards. So that's exactly what we need to do. We need to organize.
It's public information.
Okay,
We need to organize now to get everybody organized in their respective school districts and make sure that their school districts are ready to allow this by fall. So we need to get together now through those organizations.
I really
I'm not
have a
saying
lot
any
to say on
violent
this bill. I have a lot to say on this bill because I was the single mother who got up there with a disabled child and fought against the bill. And I've gotten a lot of flack for it. I've gotten a lot of hate. I've gotten, called names I'm not going to repeat because people don't realize the school districts are not even allowed to give your child honey for a cough. So any person who voted for this bill or worked for this caregiver bill to allow children to have medical marijuana in school are delusional.
Well, here's the thing. I was a school
It was
nurse.
such a
Here's
joke.
the thing. Here's the law. I was a school nurse, okay? First of all, I don't believe that the school nurses employed by the district will be able to administer this. And that is
Exactly.
not what was going on because that will take federal change. And let me tell you as a school nurse, I would not be comfortable administering it even in Colorado. So you know what? That's going to take a federal change. So it's not, I want to say this, it's not the fault of the schools in that respect. They simply can't. What they can do right now is make sure that the mothers pressure those school districts
To change
it, and but with the expectation and the understanding that the school district is not going to administer this. This will still be up to the parents, okay? And that's unfortunate right now, but that's what it is. So, you know, in one respect, it wasn't, you know, it didn't do what people expected it to do, which was get school nurses to administer this across the state. But what it did do was we can start now putting pressure on individual schools to at least allow parents or the children to wear patches, or private duty nurses who can take it upon themselves to make this choice. Because frankly, as a school nurse, I don't believe in forcing the schools to do it yet, because we'll lose our licenses.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people think. Everybody that supported this caregiver bill is so delusional and so misguided. What the caregiver bill really did was cut. We'll come back to this so I can explain it a little more.
We're about to end this, so we're just going to the end.
What the caregiver bill basically did was take away my right to fucking grow weed, and it was a nice glittery shit on glitter on shit package, so people would vote for a bad bill.
Right? And see, there you have it, guys. We have so much to talk about. This is Hash It Out. This is your girl, Miss Miranda Rights. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have to finish this topic later, guys. See you later.
Holy cow.
I get you fired up or what? And we're clear?
We got